Hey, it's Cornette Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
Hey, it's Cornette Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of our childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Conrad, I'm doing great. How are you? I've had both shots now, so I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to get back out in the world.
Hang on. If you've had a couple shots, that's not the time to travel. You don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking. Everybody knows that.
Not those shots. Vaccines.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's good, man. Especially at your advanced age. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's great. I feel good. You know, they always say, they don't always say, but many people say, like the one I live with, you're going to have some terrible side effects from this one. And I was hoping my pecker would get larger, but it didn't. I had no side effects. And
why would that matter? You know, that thing's been in mothballs for decades.
You never know. I wanted to see it.
Oh, I see. Just dust it off a little.
Yeah, to make sure it is still there type thing. So okay. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Hope you are. Hope the family's well. It's great being with you again.
I'm excited to be here with you, Tony. We were lucky enough to get a few of these in the can. And so it's been a little while since you and I actually got to catch up for real, outside of a little text here or there. But shout out to my parents who just celebrated their 41st wedding anniversary. How about that?
Great milestone. How did they celebrate? They go somewhere, have a big dinner. Did you provide them with something?
We took a little family trip down to the beach, rented a beach house with a pool and the whole deal, and blew some steaks in, grilled them up, and had a nice few days there and sort of unplugged. It was nice.
Tremendous. Lois and I have number 40 coming up in June.
What day in June?
6th.
There you go. Be here before you know it.
Coming up, man. Isn't it amazing? And it goes by faster for me, but I'm sure that as you're getting older,
yep,
it's going by faster for you. But I mean, we're almost into May.
Yeah, this year has flown by. You know, we were all last year, we were desperate to get out of 2020. And now you look up and we're like, oh shit, we're like halfway through the year.
Yeah, I know. Halfway through 2021. So that's probably good.
Well, what is good is that you and I are going to continue our march through 1986. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a couple of different ways where you can join us. For one, you can throw it in your YouTube machine. Can't believe this is real, but a lot of folks have started to upload things that were on the network that are no longer on the network, like 1986 for WCW, World Championship Wrestling, the Jim Crockett Promotions era, if you will. It's now on YouTube, and you and I have even heard from a whole bunch of people who have been using a sponsor on some of our shows from time to time, IP Vanish, and they're using an IP as if they were not here in America, so they get the regular network. And you're having so much fun covering 1986. We're going to keep it going, man. We're going to keep this whole thing going as long as we can. And of course, sprinkle in some interviews from 1986 and visit with some folks from back in the day. But as long as we can, it seems like folks are clamoring for 1986, and we're going to try to give them what they want. Right, Tony?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think such a great fan base that they're helping us out here. For many of you who are looking for the link here, if you look, just a little tip here, if you look in the comment section from our fans, there is one gentleman who's going to give you a link.
Yeah, what's so funny is I think a lot of our fans started to get nervous.
Right.
Oh, this can't end. I'm really loving 1986. I never saw this stuff or blah, blah, blah. So one by one, we started to get multiple folks saying, I have all of these.
Yeah.
And we don't know how long we're allowed to do this or can do this before the man shuts us down, but by God, here we are. And there's, as we mentioned, a few different ways to do it. You can just throw it in your Google machine, look in the comments, maybe even, or you can just use one of our sponsors like IP Vanish, and ta-da, be sure to use promo code Angle, save yourself some money there.
Very cool.
Without further ado though, Tony, I've got April 26th, 1986 queued up, rip roaring, ready to go on my side. And all I'm looking for on your behalf is a little bit of a countdown.
We have a very special countdown as always. And here we go.
You ever hear some of my commercials and think to yourself, that sounds too good to be true. That's probably malarkey. Here's the deal, man. It's real. Just ask Jason up in North Branch, Minnesota. He left us a 5-star review for our work over at SaveWithConrad.com. He had this to say: "My fellow wrestling fans and podcast listeners, Conrad's message is real. This process is very easy. Believe me, I've refinanced twice in the last 12 months. If the need ever arises again, without hesitation, I would make the call. Thank you, Conrad, and especially thank you, Derek. When you guys are in Minnesota, give me a shout. I'd love to buy you each a drink. We helped Jason save some cash and get an even better deal than he got somewhere else before, and you can do it too right now. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but it's worth another look. I'm telling you, what have you got to lose? Wouldn't you just like to have that peace of mind of knowing you've got the best deal for your family? Well, that's what my family can do for you right now at SaveWithConrad.com.
Hello, this is David Gary Howard. Hello, this is AEW ring announcer Justin Roberts with this week's watch-along countdown on what happened when, with two iconic voices, Conrad Thompson and Tony Schiavone. You ready? There we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, that's kind of provocative right there.
I'm seeing Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff both in jeans and no shirts, rolling around, and boom, from behind Barry Darsow, Crusher Khrushchev nails him over the head with a crutch. He's on, it looks like a boot, and here we go. We're getting the show kicked off.
Championship Wrestling, bringing you great wrestling action, sanctioned by the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baby Doll has been hurt. Baby Doll was hurt by Jim Cornette in the Midnight Express. She was taken to the hospital, Tony. She was hurt bad. She really was.
It's not really the most pleasant way to open the program here today to talk about something like that, but I was there, you were there, and of all the things that I have seen right here in wrestling, that to me was the worst. We're talking about Jim Cornette, what happened to Baby Doll.
And what it is, they held Dusty, and they made him watch when Cornette did it.
We're going to take a look at it a little bit later on, let you judge for yourself about what happened. But let's go on right now to talk about the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup in New Orleans.
Fantastic.
And the team that came away with the cup and the $1 million prize, David.
The Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, and what champions they are. They went through some of the best.
What a great day and a great night. Now, we talked about an injury earlier to Baby Doll. There's another injury. Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express at the hands of Ric Flair, along with Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
That's right. Ric Flair has lost complete control of himself. Ricky Morton has got under his skin.
And, of course, it's still hot between Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vine and Shushka Watley with Paul Jones. It's heating up.
Well, you can tell you were not scripted there.
What do you
I'm
mean?
talking very slowly, not exactly sure what's coming next, but I'm hoping that if I stretch just a little bit,
Somebody will walk out.
something will happen and I'll know what we're doing next. We've got some little leaguers here in their Houston Astros jerseys, and they're here to enjoy some great NWA action featuring the Boogie Woogie Man. Here he is.
That's about the size of it, buddy. But I also, you know, I did a lot more going back and watching myself type thing.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, we didn't have YouTube or the network or anything like that, but we were able to strap up some reel to reels and watch them back in the studios. And I always thought, man, I'm talking too fast. So I tried to slow down my pace a little bit. And now as we morphed through the years, I started to pick them up even more. So, but man, how about that? Baby Doll was hurt at the hands of Jim Cornette. How sad we were.
I got to tell you, I have a newfound respect for Boogie Woogie.
You do?
I was never a Boogie Woogie fan. He was just an automatic fast forward for me. You get it?
Yep.
He even did a show here in Birmingham, gosh, probably 15 years ago, called Birmingham Slam, something like that. And no, I mean, they did some actually pretty good shows there at the
Boutwell?
Yes, Boutwell. I was going to say not BJCC, but Boutwell.
Yeah, right.
And Boogie Woogie was advertising on the card. And so a buddy of mine who played baseball in the bigs back in the day, he grew up in China Grove, North Carolina. So he grew up on this Crockett era stuff. And so I didn't even know he watched wrestling. But one day he says, "Did you hear Boogie Woogie Man is in Birmingham?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so anyway, we went to see it, and I was like, what am I fucking doing with my life? I don't want to watch. Now I'm going back and watching this stuff. I'm like, I should have appreciated this a little more, even if it is over the top, silly, corny, hokey. So is a lot of the great stuff about professional wrestling.
You know, for me, it's just the opposite in a way, not just the opposite in a way. And I'm not talking about Jimmy Valiant, who I loved and enjoyed all of his stuff. But now I go back, and I was so excited about it back then because I was a fan. And now here, years later, I go back and look at some of this stuff and I go, nah, I didn't need to be excited. Well, I did need to be excited about it, but maybe I shouldn't have. I just look at it just through different lenses, type as the old cliche goes.
Sure.
What we're doing. And, you know, I mean, God, I was thinking about this the other day when someone asked me, it was Miro who asked me about Miro loves stories and loves to talk about the old days. And by the way, truly one of the most positive, greatest guys I've ever been around. And one of the legit badasses, you know, he was talking to me. He said, do you remember when when Scott Steiner put somebody in the Steiner recliner and then his back gave out? Do you remember that? He said, was that really his back giving out or was that a work? And I said, I don't know. He said, come on, you had to remember that. I said, I don't know. I really don't. And that made me think about just how many matches I've seen, right?
All of them. And how about this promo?
Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
You just saw that, you know, the action starts heating up, and a lot of people, when it gets hot, like the melt. Well, I hope that Pistol Pez Watley, or whatever you want to call yourself, in your army with Paul Jones, come on and get some, because, you know, all my life I've been recruited to a lot of major institutions. And Boogeyman recruited the Bull for one thing. Shaska Watley or Pez Watley, whatever you want to call yourself, T-Joe Khan, Baron Von Raschke, and the Awesome Barbarian. Well, baby, when you mess with the B&B Incorporated, the Bull and the Boogeyman, you're going to get a lot of rock and roll, but it's going to be doing all over your body because we do the rocking and you do the rolling. So Paul Jones, if you want to mess with the best, baby, you pick on the Boogeyman and mess with his hair. You can take a lot of a man's pride, you know. You can take his money. Maybe you can even take one of his old ladies, but you don't mess with his hair, baby, because when you do that, you cut up a little piece of his heart. And when that little piece of heart comes back to haunt you, you're going to know that B&B Incorporated are back in town and back together. We come together a long time ago to get rid of the likes of Abdullah the Butcher. Well, he's gone, baby. He's feeding somewhere in the rice paddy, getting a little fatter. So, Barbarian, you take the heat, the warning. Pez Wale, the Bullman's coming, and Boogie's going to come dance. Let me tell you all the people in San Antonio, Texas, as you all know, el corazón de San Antonio va a venir otra vez el mayo el 22. Van a ver el Boogie y el Toro. Esta vez cuando vinimos a San Antonio, Chaska, Pez Wale, Paul Jones, or anybody else, con el Toro y el Boogeyman, baby, you ain't going to get down. Because we are doing the getting down now. This 1986, the official claim, the Rage of 86. We're coming to town. This time, it's going to heat up, but we're going to be the heat.
We'll be back right after this time out.
So anyway, you're talking to Miro.
And then I got to wondering first of all, how many cliches can you use in one interview?
All of them. He used all of them.
He did. So we were talking about, and I got to thinking, how many matches have I seen? Have I called?
Right.
It's just, I mean, I can sit down and count the number of baseball games I've done because it was a season. It was a finite season. It was 144 games plus any playoffs. And I did those for 11 years plus another 5 before that. So 16 years of baseball. I can count the number of baseball games I've done, but there's no way to get an accurate count of the number of wrestling matches that I've either seen or called. I mean, it's obviously in the thousands. So when someone asks me, do you remember this? It's not because I'm old and decrepit, which I am, but it's not because of that. It's because I've just done too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No.
Yeah, there you go. So it's when it's your job, it changes your perspective. It really does.
It all runs together. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure baseball players are like that as well, with the exception of Chipper Jones. And I did have a chance to talk to Chipper on a number of occasions when I was with the Braves. And Chipper was kind of like Ted Williams. He could remember almost every pitcher and every pitcher that struck him out and what they did. He had a great mind for that. That's why he was a great hitter. So anyway, so the Raging Bull apparently is going to be teaming with Jimmy Valiant a little bit more here, I guess. I'm not sure. Sometimes he confused me on these interviews.
He confused himself.
Yeah. We'll do rock and roll all over your body, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to rock you, and we're going to do the rocking, and you're going to do the rolling.
Right, right. Yeah, but he had a very good presence. I mean, he knew how to look into the camera. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about, even though when you picked it apart, you really weren't sure.
I love when he would finish. He would say, "Oh, in San Antonio, blah 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 blah."
Right.
I feel like that was just for Dave Silva, by the way.
Everything that we do on a Hispanic level is for Dave Silva.
Yes. And going, not just me and you, but in wrestling, period.
Yes. Everybody talks to Dave Silva.
When Penta comes out and goes 0, whatever.
Yep.
You know, the 0, no, whatever he says, he's doing that for Dave's wife more than Dave. It's been well established. Dave doesn't even speak Spanish.
Wouldn't it be great to have Dave speak for Penta instead of Alex Abrahantes?
By the way, is Alex having the time of his life or what?
It comes right through. It comes right through his skin that he is so excited.
He is so excited. And I love him. He's one of the genuinely nicest guys.
Yes, he is.
That I've ever met in the professional wrestling space. Legitimately.
Yeah.
How do you
he really is.
That guy? Great guy.
Hey, so I've been having a lot of fun backstage. Oh, yeah. We have an announcer room, and I've been, I used to hang out in the social media room with Jeff or in the hallway there, but now I hang out in the announcer room, and Taz is in there. And Taz is in there, Alex Marvez, Excalibur, Alex Abrahantes, the great Justin Roberts, and Taz has TV on. He's watching Mets games.
Getting frustrated with every pitch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I just thought that I've been hanging out a lot more with Taz than usual. He does make me laugh. I have to admit that. He makes me laugh.
Have you shown him the shirt that says mock?
No, I have not. I need to do that. I need to remember to do that.
Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded like him and JR were having some fun with each other.
Boy, do they ever. Then he'll go back and he'll say, "Hey, JR, does he want it? Is he like really pissed at me?" I said, no, Taz, everybody's really pissed at you.
Yeah, it's not unique to JR.
That's right.
Eat.
We just kind of don't put up with your shit anymore, dude. So someone to tell him that we've talked about him on the podcast. And
my favorite though is when JR tried to do a Taz impression. Oh, here we go.
Paul Jones and his army, Barbarians, Shaska Watley, Baron Von Raschke.
Very proud about that lock of hair that they have from Jimmy Valiant, aren't they?
That's right. Now that he took the hair from Jimmy Valiant, Shaska Watley is trying to take a piece of hair from every one of his victims.
He really is. Let's take a look at what we're talking about as Shaska Watley, along with Paul Jones and his men, try to take some more hair.
Look at Baron. Baron moving slow, man. Yeah, that's dangerous right there, buddy. Fuck. Nighthawk got in there.
Boogie's got the mic. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
The Boogeyman's back. Go, Superman, I'm back.
There you have it. Trying to take the hair of the Boogeyman again. They didn't get it done, which you can tell right there that Paul Jones and his men will not rest until they do get all the hair from Jimmy Valiant. At least that's what they say.
That's right, but it's very good that he had a friend like the Raging Bull.
That's exactly right. With us on World Championship Wrestling now, James J. Dillon is standing here. What's going on?
Well,
You're looking at the ring.
Match gets started. I know the match is already in the ring, and in the interest of fair play and to see that justice is served, I got a final communique verifying from the president of the NWA, Bob Geigel, stating that as of today, which was the deadline I set, that we had to have an answer, that he has decreed that Ron Garvin may not wear that tape around his hand because it is a borderline weapon. And now here's a man in the ring. If you don't stay on top of these things, he's in the ring. Here's a referee with a dumbfounded look on his face. He's been told, and he's going to let this match start. Hey.
Okay, JJ is walking toward the ring now, and there's Pee Wee Anderson with him. Obvious. JJ has gotten what he requested last week, and that's to take the tape off the hand, David. At least he didn't wash it. Ron Garvin.
I like that what we're doing here. We're trying to get your referee Pee Wee Anderson to remove the tape from Ronnie Garvin's hands of stone.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he won't be as deadly with that big right hand if the tape is removed. You see JJ back for more.
In this situation, I'm genuinely concerned for him. He could be hurt by Ronnie Garvin. Look at the tape. Look, it's taking him 5 minutes to unwind all that tape. He should be fined right now because he's obviously, it's a stalling tactic is what it is. If this was me in this situation, the referee would already fined me $300-400.
Right. How did he get it hurt, JJ?
Well, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, you and your men did it.
Okay, we're ready. Let's go to the ring. There's Jay.
So Paul Garner is the opponent. I have a feeling this is still going to end with a big right hand.
Yeah, it's still going to end with a big right hand. Ronnie may sell it a little bit, but it's a big right hand. And oh, by the way, I brought up to Taz the fact that, Taz, said Conrad and I think you may have heard this, that you're Ronnie Garvin. He said, yeah. He said, I just loved Ronnie Garvin. I just absolutely did.
So how about that? He thought I was bullshitting again, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Why do you just think whenever I open my mouth, I'm bullshitting? That's not fair, Tony.
Maybe because I've known you for many years now.
Okay.
Maybe because we are in our 5th season of doing the show. Maybe. I don't know. Just throwing out some possible answers to that bullshit question you just asked. I don't know, but I do know that now Ronnie Garvin he's really pissed,
Yes.
which is bad enough that you got to wrestle Ronnie Garvin. You see, he's oh man. However, I do need to say this.
Say it, Tony.
Okay, this stuff that Ronnie Garvin is doing,
Yes.
even though it looks like it hurts, and he's probably a little snug with it.
Yeah.
To me, is much safer than all the freaking power bombs and shit we see today, man.
Really?
Yeah, that stuff just every time I see that, I go, God bless America. Every time a big guy picks up another guy, boom, and power bombs him down. And I know you got to land flat on your back, but there's just got to be so many times that your back can take that.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, I even
ask Lois. She could only take so many back shots before she went into retirement herself.
Yeah. I mean, just ask Hogan, right? I mean, all the shots he took on his spine, they have a cumulative effect. And it's just, I don't know. I guess the old person in me just worries about kids these days in the wrestling ring more than anything else. I do.
I think the cliche I've heard in recent years is a bump card. My bump card was full. I guess in yours and Lois's case, it was your belly bump card was full.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be accurate. And it filled up many, many decades ago.
Well, we know you filled it up. We've seen all your Hell at the Moon kids. There's a bunch of them.
Boy, they really are.
I mean, it's like you turn the lights on in the Schiavone household.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you used to see those comedies back in the day. If they had like a slumlord scene or something, they turn on the light in their apartment and roaches run out. Well, in your case, little Schiavone's everywhere.
Yeah, they're all grown Schiavone's now too.
They talk back and shit. It's probably not as cool as it used to be.
No, that's why I love them. But if they don't come to see me, it's fine.
Chris Schiavone, like the high point of having him as a son.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he started talking, it was all downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Like before that, you're like, what a perfect child.
Mm-hmm.
Then once he mastered the English language, you're like, fuck, somebody tag in.
Yeah, like he doesn't know how to shut up or when to shut up. Yeah, that's him.
I think that's what he and I have in common, though. We find a little spot and we just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Boop.
I told him, I said, backstage in wrestling, it is nothing but busting balls. And I said,
not just backstage, also on podcasts and wrestling with Conrad Thompson.
Yes.
It is just busting balls.
Just busting balls, which is how we roll, right?
Yeah.
They're giving Ronnie some time here, and he has just absolutely just pressed this poor kid against the mouth and to the mat in any number of ways you can do it here.
By the way, I want to mention also on the show, we're going to see the Road Warriors. We're going to see Baron Von Raschke and Shaska. We got Wahoo in action. Rock and Roll Express will be with us. The Midnight Express, of course, they're here. Your old pal George South is going to make an appearance. Tully Blanchard is going to be in action. And I think to close us off here today, we got Arn Anderson defending his television title.
Lot going on. Also speaking of Tully, here comes the punch. Ronnie just showed. Let's see what he does with it. Oh,
the headbutt.
Hard to work a headbutt, buddy.
I don't want to work a headbutt.
Nah, you get headbutted. So Ronnie was going to go with the hand. He just said, nope. And let's watch this headbutt slow motion.
What a headbutt.
Yeah.
Man,
all right.
Words here. I hope he says proud to be an American. Here we go.
Long time. How's it feel?
Everybody makes a big deal about the hand. They don't want to have the tape around it. Well, cry babies, cry all what you want. Now, let me tell you, I'm proud to be an American.
Yes.
And there's a guy that was going around causing terrorism all over the world.
Terrorism.
They give him a warning. He didn't want to listen. So in the middle of the night, we went over there and bombed him. Well, sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, watch out in the middle of the night. I might be in your bedroom looking over you. And when you open up your eyes, the last thing you're going to see is knuckles coming down in that face of yours. Whatever needs to be done will be done. This ain't no big deal. I got a head, I got a left hand, I got 2 legs. And I got plenty of talent and plenty of guts. Now, if you think you're going to stop me, so let me tell you, sometimes things got to be done, and they got to be done. And they will be done. And perhaps you guys are going around the country being too confident. Well, let me tell you, sometimes you got to show people that you mean business. And that's exactly what we were going to do. I say we because a lot of people don't like you guys. I'm not alone.
Coming right back.
It's always a good day when he drops proud to be an American.
Who do we go over and bomb?
I don't know in 86. Let's look that up. Oh, speaking of bombs, here we go.
David, what an event it was, the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup. A lot of people we'd like to thank at this time.
That's right. We'd like to thank the city of New Orleans, also the people at the Hyatt, people at the Superdome, and especially you fans for making it one of the greatest events ever.
40 different states in the nation. We met fans from several foreign countries, all came to New Orleans to see one team remain supreme, and they're with us right here. The Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, and Precious Paul Ellery.
You know, Tony, I think David said it all at the beginning of the show when he said it was fantastic. It was fantastic. The fans were there, and they were the #1 winners in the whole show. It was the greatest event. It was a Jim Crockett promotion. Now, it proves one thing, that when the Legion of Doom sets its sights on one goal, we achieve that goal. We set our sights on the cup. The NWA provided the effort. And now, Midnight Express, we're setting our sights on you. And you know what happens when we set our sights. Tell me. You know, Tony Schiavone, 24 teams were invited to the biggest tag team tournament in the world and in the history of professional wrestling. And we were the #1 seed, and we remained #1, and we took the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup. And in the process of winning that great cup, we beat the Midnight Express, and next on our list is the Take Those World Belts. Hey, we're easy to remember. We're the team that says what we're going to do, and then we do it. Now, Baltimore, Maryland, we're coming to your town tonight, and we're up in a cage. Excuse me, a chain match, double chain match with the Russians. And we're going to rid Baltimore of the Russians because we've been sitting down and talking about it, and we came up to a sum. The sum of what the Russians are. You know what it is? You want to know what it is? A crotchety load of soggy buzzard barf. I'm going to tell you Russians something else. Last time was a different story. I couldn't be with my brother and my manager. But it's a different story, like I said. Because tonight I'm going to be there. And like I said before, good for us, bad for you. Welcome to our nightmare, Russians. Tonight, if it has to end anywhere in the world, let it be Baltimore.
Now, fans, go back with us and relive some of the moments of the tag team tournament for the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup.
Muammar Gaddafi. We had just bombed Libya 8 days prior.
Okay. How about that?
Here's the track here.
Yeah.
Bunch of clips and highlights here from the Jim Crockett Memorial Cup, which, by the way, I still think we need to find a way to, like, let's do like a party. Let's watch that thing. I don't know if we need to do something on Zoom, or maybe we should try to, I know once upon a time we had worked out some plans to involve some of the Crockett's with us, but of course, when Jimmy passed away, I felt like it was in poor taste for us to say, "Hey, David."
Right.
But we need to revisit some of that, because watching the Crockett Cup with you would be a fucking blast.
Oh,
And look at there. Look at those handsome devils. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, even Bruce Pritchard was there.
Right. And this is classic. Hey, we don't have an edit suite. Let's just do things reel to reel. That's what this is. Nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, it's what we had.
How about the Marlboro signs lit up on the marquee in the background?
And did you see Rick Steiner, how jacked he looked?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
You think he was on 91 or 89 octane?
91.
Yeah.
Hebner, Tully. By the way, I was talking to Tully. We have Blood and Guts coming up, which is War Games, right?
The Match Beyond.
Yes. And I told Tully, I said, do you remember July 4th, 1987? And he just smiled, and he does. We're talking about the very first one at the Omni. JR and I did the voiceover for it. And
look at that tiger mask, bro.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And a young Bruce Pritchard. Anyway, July 4th, 1987.
Yep. At the Omni, that was the very first War Games. How about that? I'm sure that's around somewhere too.
Oh,
I mean, that was not televised, I don't think. I think that we just did that for video, I think.
Yeah, I've seen the match.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I maybe have watched it, JJ getting hurt.
We will definitely watch it next year.
Yeah.
For the anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Who was the girl there?
I missed it. I need a tiger mask like an original.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find that fucking cub, dude. It's on my short list. Well, I have an idea where it might be. Don't say anything, but I got to get that damn thing. You hear Kevin Sullivan in the back. He's got some thoughts about where it might be.
Yeah, he wants it too, man. I don't blame him. There it is. The Road Warriors, Mrs. Crockett.
Yeah, she called them the Road Runners.
There's a $1 million Jim Crockett Promotions check.
By the way, Animal wrote about this in his book. He said, even though it was a fake check, his life had never been better than it was in this very moment.
Wow.
Professionally, personally, this was the highlight of his life. Early 1986 here.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Sure do miss him. We gave him a lot of grief on this show, but
it was all fun.
Yeah, but sure do miss him. Miss both those guys.
Well, at least now you get to claim dibs when you go to the massage parlor, you know?
Wow. Always go back to the common denominator, don't you? No, I'm not talking about what he talked about. I'm talking about you and your bullshit is the common denominator.
Is that not an Animal story that you guys used to go to?
I don't listen. Don't believe any of the stories you hear about wrestling.
What does that mean, Tony? Are you saying
means that
he's passed away? Are you calling him a liar?
No, I'm saying that you can take some stories that you hear or may have heard that have been embellished or maybe bullshit about, and you create your own. Look at that flying shoulder that time from Hawk.
I love you just said, fuck it, I'm out of here. I hate Conrad. Let's just call the moves. It's fine.
Jesus, they were so good on many levels. Isn't it amazing how you work backstage and you take a look at these guys who just absolutely just emanate fucking chaos and death and
charisma,
but really they were the sweetest guys.
Yeah.
It's something else, because, and I really feel this about everybody who's worked in wrestling. And I know my son Matt has met a lot of the guys backstage. You have, obviously. And when it comes right down to it, just like anybody else who has TV exposure or media exposure or film exposure, they're just regular people. Just happens to be their job. Wow. And their job is kicking people's ass.
They're doing a good job of it too.
Yeah, they always did. Look at those traps. Those are the best traps ever. Now, Brian Cage has some massive traps, buddy.
Him and Sid.
Yeah.
But they both were, had pumpkins on their shoulders.
Yes, they did. Give me a good interview. Come on now. Here we go.
Tony, world heavyweight champion Ric Flair. At one time, he had everyone following him. He was the greatest. Then it started. Dusty Rhodes, Baby Doll. They started taking his fans away from him. All right, then the Rock and Roll Express came along. And these young guys, it was just like the Pied Piper, especially the one, Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton wouldn't back down from Ric Flair. Ric Flair is jealousy. And Ric Flair lost control. He's lost complete control.
We're going to take a look now at a match between, it's really a 6-man tag team elimination match. 2 men remain, Ricky Morton and Ric Flair.
And watch this young man go to town. Ricky Morton up, just pounding away on the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Takes him. See, Flair, he's dazed. Ricky Morton has Ric Flair, has control of Flair now. Ricky hits the back of his head. He always. Flair, good hip toss now. Throws him out. Backs him in. Chops him right across the chest. Comes in. This right here. He puts the champion down for the pin. Has him. Has the World Heavyweight Champion. Ric Flair, he is. Oh, Dusty, everybody. Fantastic. Now look at this. Iron, Ric Flair. They're all totally.
David, now we're going to watch as they go back in the dressing room. Ric Flair has never gone into a dressing room to attack someone in his career, but this was the first time, and you're right, something.
Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Iron Anderson, J.J. Dillon. Rick over to the right-hand side. You can't see him now. See, they have Robert Gibson down. The 3 of those. Now, look at Ric Flair taking Ricky Morton. The young man rubbing his face in that concrete, grinding, just like sandpaper. There you see it right there. Dusty comes in. They try to get him out, get him away.
It's like something had snapped in the World Heavyweight Champion.
It can snap.
Ricky Morton obviously seriously injured at the hands of Ric Flair. Ric Flair goes into the dressing room the first time in his career to injure that young man.
The man's jealous. The man's lost it. When you lose control, he's going to lose that championship.
Let's go to the ring.
Buddy, I fucking love everything about that angle and the story. But I think what I love most of all is when they come back to you and you're not exactly sure where you're going from here.
Right.
It's a theme here on the show, based on the way it was not produced. I started to say produced, but maybe lack of producing. And you just look at the camera like, am I going to get laid tonight? I don't know. I can't hurt. So, and I'm going to snap into something as soon as we get to Greensboro later tonight.
You know, that was shot in Greensboro. And the reason I know that was shot in Greensboro is
backstage area.
I just recognize the backstage. Yeah, it's just, and not only that, did you know how, and I reacted to it too, how we started talking and Shaska walked right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I just went, what the hell?
By the way, I gotta think that you deserve a little bit of credit.
Oh,
Pez Whatley just went in the Hall of Fame over WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, did he really?
Yes. And we had literally just talked about it here on the show, and we had just doubled down on our love of Pez, and then ta-da, Hall of Fame.
Did they send him in as a group? Like, you know, or they send him in individually and someone talked about him?
It was legacy. It was grouped in with everybody else.
Yeah.
His family didn't even know that he was going in.
Yeah. See, that's bullshit. That's just, that's let's make ourselves look good type bullshit. But anyway, congratulations.
You're just a motherfucker.
I know I'm right about this. There's some things I bullshit about, but this I know I'm right. So let's make ourselves look good. Let's not worry about him, because if it was really good, and they'd tell his family, wouldn't they? Of course they would. It wouldn't be hard. Everybody's got a cell phone these days. There's email. It's not hard to communicate with people. Oh boy, Baron again, just moving slow. Big Bill Tab in here. Bill Tab was pretty jacked guy. Baron's still with us, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Still kicking, baby.
He's got to be, what, in his 80s? God. Just, man, at one time, one of the great amateur wrestlers of all time. That's what's great about one of the great things about his story. Look at Pez laying it in, man. There you go, buddy. Hey, you know, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Oh, I'm sorry, he is. They snuck that one in on us.
I love Pez.
I do too.
By the way, I want to mention, even though I was joking earlier, later that night, you guys are in Baltimore, Maryland, and there's another crew working Charlotte. So think about that. It's a Coliseum in Charlotte and the Civic Center in Baltimore, same night.
Mm.
So in Baltimore, it's Ron Garvin and Arn Anderson in action. We've also got the Road Warriors taking on the Russians in a chain match. We've got the Midnight Express against Manning and Hector. But in the Coliseum, it's Jimmy Valiant and Shaska Watley. It's Robert Gibson and the Barbarian. It's Magnum and the Baron. It's Jimmy Garvin and Wahoo. It's Dusty and Tully Blanchard in a no time limit Texas death match, which is a big deal, obviously.
Mm.
And then in the main event, a 60-minute time limit draw with Ric Flair and Ricky Morton. And how about this for a sentence? Flair kicked out of a Hurricane Rana just before the time limit expired. A Hurricane Rana. It's 1986, you motherfuckers.
Wow. Hell, he'll still do it today.
Yeah. He was doing it in 86 and he'll do it in 21. He don't care.
Yeah, but even though he's in his 80s now, what does he care, man?
Yeah, he's 84. Just celebrated his 84th birthday.
Right.
But 35 years later, he don't give a shit. He'll hurt around your whole family.
Exactly.
You're in a Canadian destroyer. He ain't scared of that neither.
You're damn right. He could do it, buddy. So we're going to see, I don't know if we're going to see in this show, but we're probably going to see in the subsequent shows, Ricky Morton with a face mask on because of what Ric Flair did. And this is going to set up Great American Bashes during the summer where they have Morton and Flair basically headline many of the shows. I think Dusty and Magnum were together against the Russians in some of these. I'm not sure. Road Warriors, maybe. I do remember in Charlotte at the outdoor show, the same day that David Allen Coe pulled a gun on a fan, which is always great to have.
Yeah, it's going to add to any show.
Mm-hmm.
Gun violence adds to the show, the excitement. It's like, I'll never forget, me and you were riding through Jacksonville one time, and there was this guy trying to cross the median, and he was doing so when he's just right in the middle of the road, and you're driving, and you turn around to the rest of us, and he said, "Does anybody want to go home with a secret, or is it just me?" And I didn't know what you were thinking about at the moment. But I've come to realize you were asking us permission to murder a man in plain sight in the middle of the day.
Now you've crossed the line there, you piece of shit.
What? You love secrets.
Yeah, but not those secrets. Oh God, the shit I'll let you get away with here.
Hey Tony, got a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you left WWE,
yeah,
and you moved back down south,
yeah,
use boxes or trash bags?
Use boxes. That's the normal way to do things. It's if you just put somebody's stuff in a trash bag, that's really disrespectful.
Well, he got fired for it. What'd you make of that news over the weekend that your old great close personal friend Mark Carano had been let go?
First of all, I've only talked to Mark on the phone twice. I've never met him. He said that when I talked to him one time, he said, "We met in person a long time ago." I said, "Yeah, we did." And he said, "Yeah." So, I don't, I can't comment either way on it because I don't know him. But I do know there were a number of people that rejoiced in that. And there were also a number of people that said, you know what? I liked him. So I don't know really how to comment on that.
Well, two things. Running talent relations has got to be the worst job in WWE.
No question.
You're in the heat position. You're told to do things that you don't want to do. Wish you didn't have to do.
Right.
Like being fired, I'm sure, sucks.
Sure.
Firing people, that sucks too. Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
But I get when you're on the other end of that, you just think that person's a motherfucker. Turns out he probably didn't make that decision. Someone said, hey, go fire this person.
Sure.
So I only knew him in a social setting. You know, Rick liked to schmooze the talent relations crew. So I got to hang out with Nicole and Carano several times. Bill Brown, a bunch of those folks.
Yeah.
He was a great drinking buddy. Super funny, witty, good drinking buddy. Loves sports, blah, blah, blah. But I know a lot of people had a less than favorable experience. But I wonder how much of that just comes back to the job, you know?
I'm sure it comes back to the job because, you know, who had that job for a long, long time was JR.
Yeah.
And JR garnered a lot of heat, not because of who he was or what he did, but what he had to do.
Well, he also loves heat. Heat is
right. But he, you know, he also told me the story about when they fired Buff Bagwell, that Vince told him, you need to fire Buff Bagwell. And JR says, oh, what do I tell him? And the response from Vince was, I don't care what you tell him.
Yeah.
He's gone. So, right. So you're talking about a thankless job. You want to approach a guy, you're going to lose your job, but you don't know what to tell him.
Right.
So I get it, man. It's a tough job, but is that why he got fired, because of the trash bag?
Well, he had technically been replaced by Johnny Ace in talent relations,
right,
and had moved to Florida. I suspect that this is one of those.
Yeah.
Well, we got to pin it on somebody type of deals.
Yeah.
And we were kind of done here anyway, and he was kind of semi-retired. I don't know.
But you know, sometimes you gotta own up to your own shit. And there's obviously people in front offices somewhere that don't.
I can't wait to hear what Pez has to say about all this.
You know, when you have a war, you have to have two sides. Well, Valiant has made it obvious that he wants to retire. Got here, two of our great warriors, two men here. I am going to let Shaska talk to you. Remember, Shaska, your ex-bodyguard. Me, Valiant. I'm the man that cut your hair. Where my hair? I'm the one that cut your hair. And Bird, he the one that's going to crush your brain. And I'm going to tell you what, with the ingenious leadership, that's right, on the boss, we are going to destroy you. Shut up, boy, I ain't through talking. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If you think we ain't serious, if you think we don't mean nothing, step into the ring with us, sucker! Pharaoh! This is Ricky! Man, Valiant, you are at the top of Paul Jones' list. And there are others waiting to be dealt with. Magnum TA. We're winning and we're able. We are trained by a superior mind. We are superior athletes. Whether it be Shaska, Barry Zareska, Diesel Khan, or the Barbarian Army is marching, and we're going to trample all of our foes underfoot, underfoot, and underfoot. You know what gets to me, Valiant? He knows that Shaska can get to him once. He did it once, and Shaska can do it again. Shaska, the next time you get in the ring with Valiant, I want to see a bald-headed geek. That's what he's going to be, a bald-headed geek. I'm going to tell you another thing, Valiant. You with the Papa Bear street bitches on, you is in a whole lot of trouble.
We're coming right back. Don't go away.
Dude, all that sucker stuff. That's Booker T's inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is.
Oh my gosh. Look at that
Woo.
belt. Check him out.
And it's this man, Nature Boy Ric Flair. You may have heard some of the comments out here, especially my colleague David Crockett said Ric Flair is jealous of the fan support
Well,
for Ricky Morton.
let's get something straight. A week ago, David Crockett was predicting in his educated manner that the next time I was on the greatest wrestling program in the world, I would be without the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Come on in here, David. Take a look at it, guy. Woo! Still, the world champion and Dusty Rhodes is so beat up and so gun shy, I don't expect to ever see him in the title picture for a long, long time. But let's all get together now. I want it silent for a minute. Let's have a moment of silence for little itty bitty Ricky Morton. Because he found out that pro wrestling, the greatest sport of all, can be a cold, cold world when it comes to walking the aisle and making some kind of a presentation against the greatest of them all. You see, Morton, it's no secret, all the women in this world fall at my feet because I am Ric Flair. And these women, you think that thought for a moment in their life that you were something, now know that what Ric Flair wants, Ric Flair gets. So you see what I did, kid? I made an example of you. I got my hands dirty, and I made an example of you. And you now are a little itty-bitty ugly duckling. There ain't a woman alive that would lay that face down next to her in a king-size bed anywhere in this United States. And you know what, Ricky Morton? You know what I'm real happy about? You told everybody you were going to be a big deal. Now when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I thought I was going to be a big deal, but Ric Flair changed all that around. You see, when you're Ric Flair and you're the world champion, then you can have anything you want just like that because your ability is second to none. Then you do what you want to do. And Morton, I wanted the world to see that you're a punk, and I put you in your place. Now, Charlotte, North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, St. Louis, Missouri, Birmingham, Alabama, Norfolk, Virginia, all of you, roll out the red carpet because the world champion's going to be there in the next 10 days. And I'm going to make whoever thinks he's man enough to walk that aisle against me. And I don't care if it's Wahoo McDaniels, Ronnie Garvin, Bob Armstrong, or Ricky Morton. When I get there, you're going to find out once and for all, that diamonds are forever. And so is Slick Rick.
The heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Back to the ring.
Diamonds are forever. And we knew that Wahoo was in the ring because we heard all the fans in the crowd, those little boys going,
You know, interesting, when those gold.
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as bringing fans in. And he mentioned Bob Armstrong's name. How about that?
Because he knows he's going to Continental and it's happening in just a few days. He's going to be there on the 28th. So this is the 26th. 2 days later, we would be running two towns on the 27th and two towns on the 28th. But Flair was on neither one of those cards. He's down in Birmingham at the Boutwell,
Right.
working with Bob Armstrong on top. Brad Armstrong was working with Jerry Stubbs underneath. Robert Fuller was teaming with Jimmy Golden to take on Tommy Rich and Steve Armstrong.
Wow.
Wendell Cooley was taking on Adrian Street. And how about this? Tim Horner in there with your great close personal friend, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Wow. How about that? That's a pretty good card.
Yeah, Continental, baby. My dad was recently on adfreeshows.com. Cassio Kid wanted to do a Meet the Thompsons interview. So he interviewed my parents and he asked my dad, "Hey, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?" And he said, Jimmy Golden. Do you remember Jimmy Golden?
Bunkhouse Buck.
That's what I was going to say. Cassio had no idea it was Jimmy Golden. So he's like, Jimmy Golden. Oh yeah. Old timer. He had no idea. But if I would have said Bunkhouse Buck, he'd have been like, wait a minute. I know who that is.
Like standing beside a Patty.
That was a big exhale there, Tony. Are you okay?
Yeah, just. You want to listen to Jimmy talk?
Oh, sure. Here we go.
And of course now, you know, that wildebeest that was hanging around with Dusty Rhodes is out of action now. I guess that just proves the fact that, Precious, you are the one and only, honey, and you are the only 10 in the whole wide world.
Thank you.
No, I gotta apologize, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously I've been handling this I've been handling it the wrong way. You know, I did a little research on Indians and I found out that they're into that trading kind of thing. Like a long time ago, they used to bring blankets and stuff to get whiskey, you know. So what I did, I'm sorry I didn't have time to wrap it, but I thought, well, maybe if I give some gifts to the chief, he'll come out and face me like a man. But I like to, so first I got in this real a fighting Comanche set just for the chief. It's got a real fighting warrior knife. You hold on to that. I got him a real fighting tomahawk here, chief. This is just for you from the Sturgeon Falls Reservation. Maybe if I give this to him, Tony, baby, he'll come out and face me like a man. Then you ain't gonna believe what I got here. I got trinkets. I had to shop all over the place. I got some beautiful trinkets for his squaw to wear around the teepee. He can chase her around with all these things on teepee. And these are, look at these trinkets here. Now you figure, Tony, that with all these trinkets, now
Wait till you see this. I don't know.
all these trinkets and stuff, he's gonna have an appetite, right? Well, I thought of everything. Gorgeous Jimmy thinks everything. I got him some. I hate touching this stuff. I got him spray this here. I got him some of this authentic beef jerky that he can chew on if he's got any of his teeth left. I just don't know. Can you hold on to some of these? Here, stick that in your pocket for later. You really enjoy this stuff. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I'm trying everything, as you can see, to get the chief to come out of hiding, including I'm bearing gifts. Gorgeous Jimmy's bearing gifts, but I don't see him nowhere around. And it's probably a real good thing, too, because Gorgeous Jimmy feels good today. After all, every day's a wonderful day in the NWA, and that's for sure not my fault. Let's get out here, baby. Mwah.
Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin.
Can you believe?
And he talked about whiskey, trinkets, and squaws and teepees.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at you. You're concerned even back then.
It happened. I've been trying to figure out why. Why would an individual or group of people do what they did to Baby Doll? That's what I'm talking about. Baby Doll, she was hurt. She went to the hospital, and they held Dusty and made him watch. Do you understand it? Do you know why?
You know, we have seen wrestlers before many times hurt another wrestler for certain reasons. But a woman, but never have we ever seen what you're about to see and relive with us, because it's a horrible sight. It happened at the hands of Jim Cornette in the Midnight Express, and it happened to Dusty Rhodes and especially Baby Doll. I don't like to look at it, but we have to. Let's take a look at that tape right now.
What a build-up, man.
I don't like to look at it, but we have to.
Making a lot of big talk about what a great team they are. I'm wondering if he wants to come out here and show these men just how tough he is. Come on, Dream. Come on, Dream. Can you hear me, or do you want to hear me? Oh, okay. Hello, Mr. Dream.
Continuous hit country on the t-shirt.
That's the station I work for. FM in Charlotte.
You've been saying you're a big tough guy.
Part-time.
Right? You're a big tough guy. You look tough. You look real tough. Wait a minute. You know, you've been saying you're a real tough guy and a real tough guy. He's got Cornette, Tony. He's got him.
Oh,
was hit with that racket from behind, and there's Baby Doll.
Oh, he caught her with an elbow. Off the hand, they hold it.
Now what are they doing?
Baby Doll. He messes the Baby Doll. Beautiful Bobby's got her. Look at they holding him.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
What did he do? He did the right.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Baby Doll is down.
Dusty's down.
Dusty's down.
They held him. They wanted him watched.
I am
they
absolutely
did it.
speechless right in the midsection with a tennis racket on Baby Doll.
My people.
What in the world?
Big man, aren't you?
Yeah,
Big man.
Yeah, but Big Man, you're nothing.
You
ain't nothing. That's good. I'd do a lot better without you. Let me tell you something, Dusty Rhodes. American Dream. That's a big show of the American Dream right there. You ain't nothing. You are scum. And I just hope that somebody like, hey, maybe Wahoo, or maybe Ronnie Garvin, or maybe one of your other friends, I want you to tell Magnum TA what we just did here today. Because we ain't scared of you, Dusty, and we ain't scared of Magnum TA. And if he wants to do something about it, let him do it.
Hey, Jimmy, I've always told you, the wrestling business ain't no place for a woman, if that's what you want to call her.
The wrestling ring ain't no place for a woman, even a woman as big and fat and ugly like Baby Doll. I can whip you any day of the week, Baby Doll, because you belong in the same category with America's team. Everybody talks a lot about you, but when it comes time to prove it, you ain't nothing. And I just love the idea of modern day, he's a modern day cowboy, Dennis. But why don't you hold him? Drugstore cowboy. He's a drugstore cowboy. Haul him up on his horse. Cart him out.
No place for women in this sport. This ain't no place for some men.
You call that a man? I call that a piece of garbage. America's team. Well, this is America's team right here.
And here they are. Magnum TA.
Jim Cornette, big tough man, want to make sure I get your personal message. Is that what you want to do? Well, I'm not real sure you know what you're getting yourself into here. You called that America's team, sure, because you knew I wasn't there. But this is a man's man here. He came to answer your challenge against all odds. And a real lady walked out there with him, backing him up with everything she had inside her. Well, I'll never forget for 1 second the gleam on Bobby Eaton's face as he hooked her back and held her while that worm Jim Cornette took that tennis racket and drove it in her side. Well, yes, this is a man's sport, but this is a world where there's still some decency left, and you know nothing about it. Well, this doesn't involve any titles. This doesn't involve anything that the NWA is ever going to see a part of. What this involves is vengeance. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd want to go to war for Baby Doll, because her and I have certainly had some controversy in the past. But now she showed me exactly what kind of lady she is. I know where her priority is at, and she knows that I'm behind her. She knows that he's behind her, and it's only just begun.
You know, it's real simple. It's real simple, Jim Cornette. Baby Doll came into this sport, didn't ask nothing from anybody. She just wanted to be equal. She came in a man's game, never wanted anything special, never went out of the way to ask for anything special. She took abuse from fans. She took abuse from Tully Blanchard. She took abuse from people throughout this country. She walked out there, Jim Cornette, doing what only she knows how to do. That's what every great woman in this world has a dream to be something. What is the best secretary? What is the best, whatever it is on the street? What is the best doctor? What is the best lawyer? I don't care what woman, and you got enough guts inside of you to be the best that you can. This world is not a man's world. It belongs to the women. Because you wouldn't have a president of the United States if there wasn't a woman. You wouldn't have a man walking around with children if there wasn't a woman. in a woman's place. Baby doll told me just hours ago from Lubbock, Texas. She said, Dream, you know, one thing that women are put here for is to have children. And for a couple of hours, she didn't think she would ever be able to have children. So let me tell you something, Cornette. Let me tell you something, Bobby Eaton. The titles. What's going down now is one good old-fashioned kicking.
Go to the ring.
Dude, are they fucking cooking with gas right now or what? I got chill bumps right there on the ass whooping.
Yeah, both those guys. I mean, here's Ricky taped up. Both those guys, Magnum even hit it, you know, talking about the problems with Baby Doll in the past and we're going to war. Yeah.
What was great is these fans in the audience, they're just eating up everything that happens in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hooting and hollering and their kids and they're trying to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when Flair was out there, he says, I need a moment of silence. He's trying to get them to quiet down. When Magnum started talking, everyone wanted to hear what he had to say.
Sure. He was legit.
I did love, God bless Dusty. Women can do anything. They can be a secretary. They can be really great on the street. And you and I looked at each other like, what the fuck? Where's he going with this?
Then he said, doctors, lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just great. He realized once he got going, he's like, oh, that didn't come out like I wanted. Let me take another step.
These were wonderful. Many levels. I still think it's the greatest music year. Just great.
We love the wrestling. We love the sports. We love the music.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do it over again, but as an adult, and I could come hang out with you and piss you off and annoy you.
Why would you piss me off? I mean, you always say such kind, nice things about me.
Before anybody.
Yeah. In the same breath, in the same day you labeled me as a murderer.
Well, no, you didn't hit the guy. You just asked if we wanted to go home with a secret. I had never heard it phrased that way.
Yeah. See, we're saying the same thing here.
I mean,
that's okay. People know by now, 5th season of this, that you're really full of shit. That's good.
Did you drop us off and flip a bitch, hit a U-turn and whoop, whoop?
No.
Put him up?
No.
I wondered if it was like Grand Theft Auto and you'd hit him and be like 25 points.
No. Listen to you dropping a video game that you know nothing about.
I know what Grand Theft Auto is.
Yeah.
I played it back in the day, back before I realized I had bills and shit.
Okay. Double drop kick. Who's I talking about you? Who's I talking somebody about you the other day? I said, can you believe he loves wrestling, but he hates sci-fi and hates
you were talking
superheroes?
Cody. That had to be Cody.
Yeah, maybe so.
Because Cody is all into that shit and gives me shit for now. Here we go.
1 second. David Crockett will not speak to you. I shouldn't, but it's my job to. Now your chance to defend yourself.
It breaks my heart. Let me tell you something. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, the modern day cowboy. Dusty, if you happen to go outside the studios of TBS, look up and down the street, there ain't no watering troughs and there ain't no hitching posts in modern day society. Of course, Dusty don't need a hitching post, see? He don't tie his horse up outside the building every night. He walks to the ring with her. And speaking of Baby Doll, let me tell you something,
my God.
You shouldn't have stuck your nose in there in the first place. You had no business in a wrestling ring. Women should not be in professional sports. You look at all the major sports: basketball, baseball, football, wrestling, track and field, on down the line. Men dominate because women got no place in it. And Baby Doll, you had no business putting yourself in a man's position. When you do that, you get hurt. And Baby Doll, the big heifer, is the one that viciously attacked my man to begin with. She jumped him from behind like the coward that she is. And Baby Doll, you got exactly what you deserved. And Dusty, you know, it's kind of fitting because Dusty really gets in those old Western movies, right? Well, you know how they used to get the sheriff, they used to get the marshal down on his knees out on the prairie, and they used to make him watch while they beat his horse up. Well, that's the same thing we did to you, Dusty. You were a big man, weren't you? You got your little girlfriend out there. You were down on your knees. We were beating her up. That makes you a big tough man. A Magnum TA. He was such a coward. He didn't even have the guts in his body to show up that day. He probably knew we were going to be there, and he no part of us. Well, Dusty and Magnum, if you think you can take the Midnight Express after all this, then you go ahead and give it a try. Because Dusty, we proved you're nothing. Magnum, we proved that we're not scared of you. And Baby Doll, let me just sum it all up by saying, when you think you can beat the Midnight Express, that's insanity. When you think that you can get in the ring with the Midnight Express, that's hard times. But when you put your hands on Jim Cornette, that's risky business, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
Is Jim Cornette the greatest talker in the history of wrestling?
I think maybe he is. And I also wonder, because this was such a serious angle, was there any blowback? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
1986, there was blowback for this.
Well, they even teased, the whole might not be able to have kids thing.
Yeah.
And then you saw Dusty sort of walk it back a little bit because
Yeah.
he said, there for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he wrote about it in his book,
Mm-hmm.
the Jim Cornette book for the anniversary edition
Mm-hmm.
of the Midnight Express. Here.
Wow. Just some obviously and rightfully so stuff you couldn't get away with today, and I didn't even think you could get away with it in 86. Man. Oh, Rocky King getting a little, and how about even Bobby and Dennis talking, which they hadn't done.
Right.
They may have done in 85 when they first arrived, but they didn't do it in 86.
By the way, in May is where Dusty and TA are going to be under masks and hit the ring, kidnap him, put a noose around his neck. That's
Whoa.
literally next month.
Whoa.
Coming up here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. The taping happened in Greenville, South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and it happened on April 21st. This taping began a program between the Midnights, Dusty, Magnum, and Baby Doll when the Midnights attacked Dusty, and Jim Cornette hit Doll in the stomach with the tennis racket, where it was later revealed that she, quote unquote, may not be able to have children. This angle got some pretty serious heat, and the Midnights began carrying handguns in their cars as they had in Mid-South. So just to sort of recap what all we got going on here, Shaska Watley has cut off the hair of Boogie Woogie. Ric Flair has turned Ricky Morton's face into ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
The Midnights have attacked Baby Doll and made it where she may not be able to have children. And Jimmy Garvin is teasing a Native American with beef jerky, trinkets, whiskey, and a tomahawk.
Welcome to the world in 1986, right?
RASSLIN. That's Jim Crockett. It's great stuff, man.
Yeah, it's still old school stuff. It's
couldn't do it now, but in 86, that was heat, brother.
And not only couldn't do it now, I don't even think it was anything that Vince McMahon would ever do.
Oh no.
No.
Well,
I mean, they did some
86.
Right.
13 years later, people are giving birth to hands, and we have transgender people doing surprise blowies, and I mean, we got all kinds of weird stuff to come. But yeah, in 86, probably not.
No, 86, they were all about the kids and the cartoons and Hulk Hogan and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or soon to be.
Oh, here comes Ricky Morton, baby. Let's hear how many times we get a baby and a daddy. Here we go.
A lot on your mind. That's right, Tony. It never fails to amaze me how Ric Flair can come out here and tell everybody in the world what he done to Rick Morton and Robert Gibson. But Ric Flair, you see, you didn't do nothing. It took you and the two other horsemen that you call Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and J.J. Dillon to come in our dressing room after Rick Morton beat you 1, 2, 3, Ric Flair. Now, you might be the world's heavyweight champion. You might run around in Learjet and limousines, but you can blow all that out your ear, punk. because you're the one that is a punk. When I walk that aisle, baby, I'm going to walk that aisle to be the new world's champion. In order to be a man, you got to beat the man, and I've done it several times. And for you, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, every dog has got his day, brother, and yours is just right around the corner. Because if you want to hang around with the big dogs, you got to get up off the porch. And we're off, baby, and we're coming after you. Now, Ric Flair, you remember one thing. There's another slick Rick in town, and you looking at him right here. Woo!
Let's go to the ring.
Did Robert just go, that's right, and walk off?
Mm-hmm. That's what he did.
I got to get a gig like that. I want to fucking stand up here, let you do the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And at that 90-minute mark, I'll say, that's right.
Well, that's kind of what I do on Dynamite.
Yeah, that's exactly right, JR. I'm glad you got there before I had to. Thank you for knowing when I'm teeing you up.
Yeah, season 5, I should know by now. Should know, man. Look, Tully being very aggressive here.
Oh, hey, can I recommend a movie for you?
Yeah.
You know what? With that attitude, I don't know that I want.
No, come on. Slingshot suplex. 1, 2, 3. What is it?
Better than that. Go watch Nobody.
Nobody?
Nobody. It's your speed. You'd love it.
Okay.
I recommended it to Bruce. He loved it too.
Where is it? Where is it? Is it on HBO Max?
It's in theaters and whatnot, but you can probably pull it up on any of your apps like Apple TV or Netflix or whatever. Here we go.
Nope.
Going your way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, things are really going our way. You know, I bet Big Mama's Flower Shop in Charlotte, North Carolina is doing super business with all the flowers that being sent to Baby Doll. I just can't understand what the big deal is all about. People suffer injuries every day. It's a hard, cruel world. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be in the kitchen if you can't afford to get your hands burned is what it's all about.
Okay.
You know what it is? Any professional sports, the big dogs intimidate the rest of the field. But you got to go in the ring and intimidate people. I just intimidated somebody. Ricky Morton got intimidated. That's why he's got to look at that scarred up face every time he goes over there. Intimidation. Dusty Rhodes' foot. Intimidation. Ronnie Garvin's hand. Intimidation. That's what it's all about. Because when you get in the ring with the 3 Horsemen, you know you're in the ring with the big dogs in professional wrestling. The ones that carry all the hardware out here on national television. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the bottom line.
We're coming right back. Don't you go away.
Because Tully Blanchard said so.
JJ was talking about kitchen burning your hands. It was a cliche. Yeah. It had nothing to do with women, but it was, oh boy.
Oh God. You want to do this one? I think
sure. I'll do this one. You see, Nikita, Nikita got a tie on. That's because he's not too far away from marrying this girl from Alabama. I don't even know where Alabama is because I'm from Canada. Is Alabama somewhere near Georgia? Is it somewhere near Mississippi? Oh, it's near Mississippi. Okay. So he's going to marry this girl from Alabama. So what do? We bring in Crusher Khrushchev. We say, he's soft. He's going to marry an American woman. He's not going to be the killer Nikita Koloff. So let's bring in Crusher. But Crusher has a bad knee. He cannot wrestle right now. So we had him come out with a crutch and hit Magnum TA with it on the head. That's right. Crusher with a bad knee would probably be more effective than the guy to my right who's pussy whipped. Yes, that's right. I said it. Let's take a look at back when he was big and bad and strong. Yes, this is a Russian chain match. And this is a Russian chain match against, well, I believe it's yes, it is Magnum TA. I wasn't so sure, but as you can see, he's waiting for the right time. Magnum had to take his time because Nikita's green. And there you see the double axe handle with the chain on the head. As you see Tommy Young look at Nikita. Nikita grabs Tommy Young, and then you see from behind, I'm looking, and the idea is to touch all 4 corners. Only got the 2 corners. I don't know what happened to the tape, but Nikita beat him, right? Shatoata. That's right, Uncle. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about going to Golden Corral with Miss Alabama later and wants to have some of that cheap ass steak and maybe some potatoes and maybe the all you can eat dessert bar, because that's what I'm doing now. I'm not worrying about a Russian chain match because I'm just worrying about going on a date. And Crusher Khrushchev, is he going to be back soon? I hope, because I'm tired of wrestling. I'm going to go into the ministry, and there's nothing you can do about it. Shatoata. And I'm going to leave wrestling to Crusher Khrushchev and maybe the, anybody else you can put under a mask. Yes, we'll have the Russian assassin under a mask before you know it. And then we'll be rid of this lug to my right. We'll have to worry about it anymore because, actually, he has heat with the boys anyway because he's stiff. That's right. Like all you other Minnesota knuckleheads, you're stiff. You really want to beat people up, but you don't know this is a work. Back when I used to be one of the top stars, it was a work. I wrestled Pedro Morales. Didn't hurt him. That's right. Did not hurt him at all. I wrestled Bruno Sammartino. Didn't hurt him. But now you guys come from Minnesota. You hurt everybody, like the guy to my right. But now we don't have to worry about it because he's getting married. And we'll be back after this.
And here it is, Arn Anderson in action here against your old pal, Gene Ligon.
Gene Ligon, man.
Your great close personal friend.
I don't have any great close personal friends.
I don't count.
You're a great friend.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody that close to me.
You won't let anybody be.
It's a flaw in my character.
We try. You just shut it down.
Yeah. I'm a weird guy, by the way. Of gimmicks.
Just saying, I invite you over.
I know.
Opportunities to fellowship.
And I
y'all going to be doing something like not too far from your house today. And you're like, okay, cool. Have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with your other friends. And you're like, yeah, all right. Well, good job.
They're not my friends.
Arn Anderson's not your friend?
They're acquaintances.
Oh, I thought Arn was your friend. I'm sorry.
Well, if Arn wanted me there, he would have invited me, wouldn't he?
Well, he's working.
What is it you're doing in Rome today?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I got things I got to do.
Yeah. Well, what's your day look like, Schiavone?
I'm going to sit here in the chair to my right. If you're watching on video with the bug.
Yep.
We're going to hang out, watch some of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the final episode of that. Going to brush my teeth and probably take a shower and floss my teeth. And
hey, when you take a shower, what's your like?
Take a wash rag.
Okay.
I take some of that Manscaped body wash.
Okay.
Put it on the wash rag and clean it out.
So you just like wrap the rag around your finger and run it around?
No, wrap it around the finger and run it around.
What do you? How are you?
Just put it in there and take your hands and scrub.
On your
what are we doing? We're talking about cleaning out assholes. Have you run out of things to talk about on this show?
Yes. Yes.
Apparently.
I thought that was apparent. Here's the deal. We started talking about 86 and we had most people loved it. We had some people who were like, I kind of wish that you guys would just be, foul and dirty like you used to be. And they want you to read rap songs and all that. And I know you don't want to do any of that. So I thought you brought up shower, let's talk about your asshole.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of assholes, I got to fulfill Paul Orndorff's childhood dream while I was down at the beach.
Really?
Hung my ass off the balcony. Second story flop.
Wow. You're the Bill Watts of Pensacola.
Can you imagine my big ass trying to teeter totter on a railing? I did not do
that. There are not enough gummies in the world.
I knew it would make you laugh though. I'm out of gummies, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that ain't gonna last long.
That Jacksonville trip, where I had the Tupperware.
Yes.
Hey, well, fuck, y'all went through 100 in 3 days. Like, how did that even happen?
You got me confused with somebody else that was at the table.
Yeah, he loved BLTs.
What a fun time.
And by the way, our roundtable that we did in Jacksonville with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Eric Bischoff is available now at adfreeshows.com. And Jim Ross steals the show. Is it fair to say?
Without question. Whew, did he ever. When you get him going, man, he's one of the most entertaining guys ever.
I got to go watch it again. I mean, I was there, but I want to watch it.
I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen the,
clips.
The clips.
Trailers.
Yeah. There's your spine buster.
You know what's coming after that?
Gourd buster.
Let's track it.
Takes him up. Gourd buster. Puts his face through the mat.
Do you hope Brock uses the gourd buster or the spine buster?
I want to see him use the gourd buster because not that many people do it. A lot of people do spine busters.
Agree totally.
Yeah.
And I bet we get a little promo action here. Let's take a listen.
The three horsemen, all champions.
With all due respect, we're going to break precedent today because your camera has now filled this picture with what is happening in professional wrestling today, and I think we can finish today's program, frankly, without you. Fantastic, brother. I would like to be the first to offer my congratulations to the World Television Champion Arn Anderson on another very impressive victory.
Thank you, James Gius. As indicative as you may be about everything, all I got to say in a closing note is everybody across this country wakes up every day trying and wanting to be somebody else. We're just happy being us.
Mr. Ric Flair, the World Heavyweight Champion.
I must add, before I get real serious here, that there's a whole bunch of women in New Orleans know why they call us the Three Horsemen. You understand? When we left town, they were all walking around in a day. Now, Ricky Morton, if you want to get Robert Gibson, and you want to get Dusty Rhodes, and you want to get Magnum TA, you get them all together, because you're talking about three bad white boys that know how to do it better than any three men alive. You're talking about the championship road. And with J.J. Dillon guiding this force, just like he leads us into all the big arenas, there's not one chance in all of God's green earth of you doing anything except getting your butt kicked. Woo!
I want to tell you, champ, when you're defending the gold all over the world, if the Rock and Roll Express want to bite off some of the horsemen, Mr. Tully Blanchard and Mr. Arn Anderson would be pleased to accommodate them in any arena anywhere in the world, wouldn't you say?
You know, sitting back here, Arn said it all, Rick said it all, but you know, you think of one description that covers all three of us, you know, we are rich women's lovers and poor girls' dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's about it for this edition of
How about that girl that was calling me Secretariat as I walked out the door?
For Tony Schiavone, for David Crockett, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
How about that for an end?
That was pretty cool. Call me Secretariat.
I know you'd laugh at that.
They were feeling good, buddy.
Tremendous.
They were feeling good. Tammy Miller with makeup. This was pre Terry Boatwright makeup.
Well, boys and girls, that's going to bring us to an end here today.
That was pretty cool, man.
It was a good episode. I'm glad to hear that JJ got to take us off the air. It was a really good show, though. We see the Midnight's attack Baby Doll and Flair and the Horsemen. The Three Horsemen attack Ricky Morton backstage and grind his face into the concrete. We got some hot angles going, and we're going to keep it going next week right here on What Happened When. But right now, Tony, looks like it's about that time.
Absolutely. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring, Jim Cornette has called out Conrad Thompson to the ring, and Conrad attacks the Midnight Express. And here comes Conrad's valet, Dave Silva, and he rolls, and he's rolling in the ring. He gets up. Cornette takes a tennis racket. He's going to hit him in the midsection with it. Oh, it didn't hurt him. He's going to hit him in the midsection again. Oh, the tennis racket has ricocheted off Dave Silva's midsection and gone into the crowd. Dave may never be able to have a baby again. We're desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We come to you on Westwood One and Mondays on
Patron, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.